Thank you, Larry Weiss could join us, Accredited Partner of the Year for Maus, and Director of Sales, Chris Palmer. My name is Mike Brady, Account Executive in the U.S. for Maus, and you're joining us for a fireside chat. That's right, I've got a fire by my side. And basically what we realized was over here in the U.S., I just did a webinar with the Exit Planning Institute about our Accredited Partner Program, introducing some of their education as one of the benefits of our partner program. And then afterwards, I got a ton of emails and meetings and scheduled calls for what's the partner program. So that's a great question. And I thought we might as well get together with the Accredited Partner of the Year, Larry Weiss, to chat a little bit about the partner program, and Chris Palmer, who's built the partner program out to about 80, 85 members globally. And in the States, I would say that's probably about a dozen. So my job and my focus over here in the States is to really grow this community. And the partner program consists of a few things. It's worth noting that it's an add-on to our software tools. Included in it is marketing materials, additional education, additional white labeling and customization, priority support from the Maus group, but also the community side of things. We're really going to grow this out to a meeting a month, maybe every other month like it currently is. But in that meeting, you're going to learn from other partners, other Maus users that are trying to do what you do or doing what you do, doing what you're trying to do. I think that it's always wise to sharpen your axe, be around some folks that have learned that have done some things, shown some success. And I think that we'll get some education, not only about your practice, but you'll also get some education, maybe some case studies of here's a business that I helped. Here's how much I charge for it. There's always questions around billing, and I think it's better just to ask the folks that are doing it out in the field. So that's what my vision is in the U.S. for the partner community. But I'd love to turn it over to Chris to really answer the question of who is the partner program for?
Yeah, thanks for that. Thank you. You summed up the capacity of the Maus Partner Program really well in terms of why it's there. I think a lot of people look at Maus as a technology provider, a SaaS solution. And yes, that's what we are at our core, but the Maus Partner Program steps a long way beyond that. Why it's there is really that go-to-market solution. We have a lot of firms that come through to us that go, the software is great, but I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to get my messaging together, still trying to get my marketing together. I'm still trying to go to market. And so the partner program really fills that void without either trying to build it all yourself or going down the line of joining a franchise consulting group or advisory group and having to spend an awful lot of money. So the partner program is sort of that happy medium. And so it's really designed for a number of different demographics and silos. Number one are the ex-senior level corporates or ex-business owners that want to move into more of a consulting role. So use all of that experience to go, I want to be a consultant or a coach or an advisor, however you want to brand yourself, but I want to have all that material there ready to go. The other side of what we're seeing are the add-on services to existing firms. So accountants and bookkeepers, M&A, business brokers, who are wanting to do more business advisory work with their clients. And that might be still siloed, so it might be focusing on financial reporting, or it might be focused on exit and succession planning. But again, before they can go to that delivery of service, they need that go-to-market. So that's why with the partner program, we've really built in these other areas and capacities, and it starts with that certification and that training. So to make sure everyone is at that level playing field, at that level of understanding, hence why we market you as an accredited partner. So you go through a certification course with us. And there's an array that you can choose from depending on your focus. So if you're a general business advisor or coach, you go through our certified business advisor program. If it's focused in on exit planning, we've aligned ourselves with obviously the EPI and the Exit Planning Institute to have those more focused courses. And we're building out that course sort of catalog further. Off the back of that, we put you through a induction specifically around the Maus material. So it's great you've got the theory and the understanding of what it is to be an advisor in that segment. Now, how do I use all the Maus material? So how do I market my practice using Maus? How do I generate leads using the Maus resources? How do I work with a client in that very first meeting using the Maus resources, and then so forth? So that's really where it sits, and I think it's a fantastic add-on for a lot of people that are out there trying to build their practice.
Yeah, and I think that's an awesome summary. And that's, it's crazy that that's probably half of what's included in the partner program. So it is still worth basically getting under the hood and taking a look at what are those lead gen tools and those marketing resources. But I know we've got Larry on the call, and mainly because Larry's done this phenomenal job of going to market by using Maus and giving credit to Maus. I think that, the main credit goes to Larry for getting up and going to work. But I'd love to hear, how you used Maus, and I guess a little bit of your story would be helpful too.
Well, thanks, Mike. My name is Larry Weiss, and I am a advisor in St. Louis, Missouri. And much as you described that target market is, I was a C-level executive, had been finance and operations, and decided it was time I wanted to do something on my own and wanted more control. And as I looked around and really thought about it, decided I wanted to be in the exit planning and value enhancement part of the business, because that fit well with my sort of CFO, COO background. And as I embarked on the program, what I realized was I didn't really have a good system to really help my clients move forward. And when I discovered Maus and began with the software, it really gave me the tools that I had a very cohesive, a very systematic way of helping the business owner with both their personal and their business planning. And when I first started, I assumed I would be spending most of my time on exit planning. And what I discovered over the next 12 to 18 months, there was really much more interest in helping companies build value. And rather than working with the 55-year-old and older owners who wanted to exit, what I found was I was working much more with sort of the 45-year-old owner who had stagnated, and they were doing okay, but wanted to really take it to the next level. Or that second or third generation that had come in, and they too wanted to do more, better, and faster. And as my relationship with Maus developed, the tools and the training and the content that you guys had was just perfect. And using that to help my clients move forward, I realized that for me to take my practice to where I wanted it to go, I needed to start doing more marketing. I think like a lot of advisors, we hang our shingle out, we get real active on LinkedIn, and we start generating some interest. And when I discovered the partner program at Maus and really the marketing resources that you guys had for me, it was really a no-brainer to get involved, because I had, prior to that, tried to create some of my own content, and by the time I had someone help me write the content and do some of the visuals, what I found was I was spending a lot of time and not really making a lot of progress. And once I joined the partner or the accredited partner program, what I had suddenly was just a plethora of content. And I decided to use, I picked up a CRM system, started using Active Campaign, which system you pick doesn't really matter. And beginning with my LinkedIn, and started building out that database. And my practice, what impresses me so much about the Maus software and just the limited number of partners we have here in the States now, when we talk, I think all 10 or 12 of us approach the business differently. Yet the software is flexible enough to support all of us. So I would fall into what I would call as a value advisor, or that general business coach or strategic coach. And what I was able to do with the marketing content was really utilize what you guys had given me, as it's about 90% of what I use for my marketing. And I add a little verbiage, use the copyrighted photos and the content that you guys have, and the information that goes out looks very professional and draws a very good response. And what I found most interesting is I started to do that because I work very much in one vertical in the dental manufacturing world. And so my database of prospects is only 500, but given the universe I'm in, I actually have to turn away work frequently because as I've done this, I've become much more selective in who I work with, how much I charge, and if we can't triple the value of the business, I just soon they go somewhere else because I'd really rather work with the companies that really want to make a difference. And what I found was what I settled into now and have been doing for about 18 months is I have a twice monthly email blast that goes out, and literally I begin with the Maus content, add a little verbiage to it. I always lead with the photography or the graphics that Maus provides. And when I first started, probably 90% of my client calls or prospects were coming in from my database. What I realized about 9 months later is those emails were being forwarded to friends of contacts in my database. And suddenly I'm getting calls from folks that I have no idea who they are, that they said, hey, Asan forwarded me this email, or Danny forwarded me this email, or Rachel. And part of within the CRM, really any CRM system you can pick, I started tracking who those referrals were. And I think of my last 6 clients that I picked up, none of them were in my database, but were referred to me by someone in my database. So that marketing for me was really the turning point in my practice when I went from working with a few companies that I knew very well to really being able to generate a much higher volume of clients and actually much more interesting clients for me. And things have worked out so well that about a year ago, I actually brought an associate in to help me, because what I found was I was still getting I was getting more leads than I wanted to work on myself, because I've really targeted my business to be high value, high response. And to do that, I need to have that time built into my schedule that I can get back to them.
Yeah. And I think that's a wildly exciting success story from taking the tools, working in your warm market, taking those tools and going to market and turning into now a referral source, having enough structure in place to be able to scale and then bring on somebody. I think that having a system is the takeaway. And the unique part there is I think people, when they're sector specific, they think, oh, there is no tool in the market for me because I'm so specific. I'm working in such a niche category or industry. But I would imagine dental practices are pretty specific, and you're still able to use our tools and drive value. So.
Yeah, and mine's even more finite than that, because when I look at dental manufacturing, it's dental laboratories or companies that make dental materials that go into dental products. And what I find is the content, the concepts and the principles are all the same for business owners. And where I'm able then to add much more value is specific to that segment. And what I find is the referral rate, and actually I attribute a lot of my success to the Maus counseling I got early on, because I'm thinking, well, I'm gonna go after this regional business, I'm gonna go after this other business, and I'm kind of putting together all these things. And the group I was working with at Maus just kept saying, stop, Larry, you got a great niche, go deep, go as deep as you can. And that advice has paid off incredibly well for me. And what I find now as Maus is starting to evolve, that I'm excited that as some of the new additions to the actual SaaS product, I'm going to be able to go deeper with individual clients to help them that you start talking about a 3 or 4 time increase in enterprise value, you folks are pretty happy with me. So they're more than glad to refer me to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, and as a licensed financial advisor, you're excited to manage 3 to 4 times as much money too. So yeah, there's nobody that this doesn't work for, the system. So obviously appreciate your time, appreciate you guys getting together and explaining a little, or providing just a little bit more color around the partner program, the accredited partner program, and the vision that we have here for the US. So I think that's a wrap for today's session, but the best thing you could do if you have more questions, we'll include a link that has a time to book a demo with Chris or myself, depending on territory. And we're happy to dive a little bit further into what the accredited partner program is and how it could help your business go to market or scale.
And Michael, I'm more than glad to share what I've done. And I mean, it's even the marketing content, because 90% of it is Maus driven. You know what? As long as you're not in my dental manufacturing vertical, you know what? Have at it. I mean, I'm more than glad to share, because this is one of those with the support and the product behind me. There's so much work out there to be had. And what for me was really helpful was, I mean, as I started, you just have so much to learn. And as you get better and more focused, what I find is I become much more efficient, and it's just much more profitable on my part, because it's
probably a prospect giving you a call right now. I like how you timed that, Larry. Chris, anything to add in closing there? Because I know we're wrapped for time.
No, look, I think you both summarized it really well. I think that closing statement there of that mentoring that the Maus team provide, but also that community aspect, as cliche as that may sound. I think building out this partner network of business consultants, coaches, advisors, as we can see with Larry here, our advisor of the year for last year, very niche, very specific. And then we've got people in very different verticals. But the idea that there's all these people trying to do the same thing, supporting small to medium businesses, typically helping them to grow. There's so much value that can be shared even within the partner network. You're all trying to do similar missions, similar objectives, and it's great to see that collaboration. So yeah, we're excited for what lies ahead.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks guys. Appreciate you joining.
Thanks everybody. Good luck.